Hi, this is just a short video I'm making about my Romulus Type engine. I'm going to test it on air. Anyway, I've got to a point now where it's all coming together, and I just thought anybody that's building one that wants to run it on air, I'd just like to show them the way I've done it. I never tested it as it was in its chassis form. I waited until smoke box were on and everything were more or less completed. I have run it since and it runs okay, but I just thought I'd like to show anyone that's interested the way I connected it up through the smoke box. A simple way, and it's quite effective. They're quite a nice loco, these, even for just somebody that's starting out in 7¼ inch gauge. They're good passenger haulers. This is the second one I've built. I built one many years ago and run that quite successfully. I used to run it at Hemsby at one point, down near Great Yarmouth. They're a very easy engine to build, but my version and the previous one had Walschaerts valve gear, which I think looks good on a Romulus. The original valve gear is the Aqua's type, which is quite good. It does the job, but I just like the Walschaerts. Where I made a temporary joint is just behind, can be seen just behind the temporary blast pipe. It's a bit difficult. It's a hexagon nut blanking off the top part of the steam pipe connection. This part goes down to the cylinders, and what I did, I made just a small connection with a hexagon nut which can be sealed after. These are the adapters, well, the brass adapter which will fit on the steam pipe joints, and then this is your standard compressed air connector. All I do now is just attach the compressor line. There we are, straight to the compressor. When the air is turned on, nothing goes into the boiler because the regulator assembly is all finished, and I've just taken off the cab temporary. The regulator is shut, so there's no air can get back into the boiler. It just gets stopped at the valve. Back head has to be finished yet. Water gauges are nearly complete. Fire hole doors finished. Brake rigging's almost done. It's coming together nicely now after all these years. And of course the Walschaerts valve gear. Which I rather like on the Romulus. It's just tilted up slightly, packed up so the wheel's clear. Enable it to run. No cylinder drains yet, just blanked off. The steam inlet and exhaust are different to the Romulus drawings. This is totally different layout. Find this easier, a lot better than drilling at an angle in the boiler and having the steam pipe going up at an angle. This is much better. It worked perfectly on my other Romulus, never had any trouble with it. Never had any bother with condensation. Looking a bit tatty at the moment, but will be okay when it's all repainted. And we'll have it running. The compressor will kick in any time now because the reservoir can't cope on its own, it's not big enough. There is offset, as can be seen. The reason for this is that I'm just using the original Romulus cylinders and distance pieces from the frames. I didn't want to alter anything else. It was just easier to make a slight extension to one side, and it worked on the other Romulus perfectly for years, so no reason not to do the same on this. I didn't want to bend any rods at funny angles to keep it in line with the radius rod. It doesn't affect the valve timing, everything works perfect. Everything now will be cleaned down and resprayed. This was my first Romulus, and this had Hackworth valve gear. This was running down at Emsby. This is quite a few years ago now, and that run beautifully without any bother. I then decided to repaint it, and at the same time put Walschaerts valve gear on it. So that was just a quick video showing my Romulus running. I'm going to crack on now with it and get all the brake gear finished, the ash pans finished, dampers, just minor things to do really, and once that's done, get the rest of the boiler fittings made, strip down for a respray, then all the paint ready and everything. There's just one thing I'd say, if anybody's thinking of building a Romulus, just have a look at the brake rigging. Make sure that you look at it carefully, because the original design has a centre bar going down underneath the ash pan, and it makes it virtually impossible to drop the ash pan or get the fire bars in and out. I've modified mine. I've got plans for modifying it where the brake rods will be outside the frames, and it'll leave the portion under the ash pan free, so the whole lot will drop out. It's worth looking at, is that, because otherwise it's a struggle to get the ash pan off. It's quite a big ash pan as well, but you can't get it out if you've got the central bar down the middle where it joins the cross rod for the brakes. This is my modification to my Romulus brake gear. On the original design, the centre bar runs directly under the ash pan, making it nearly impossible to get the fire bars out, and even to take the ash pan out itself. What I've done here is put two bars on the outside of the frames. These have a left hand and right hand thread, so I can get fine adjustment to being able to get equal bite on each brake block on both sides of the engine. This works very well. The brake column shaft has a left hand thread, so that when I turn it in the normal way with this modification, it puts the brake on. If I left it as a right hand thread, as I turn the column lever, it would actually pull the brake off, so that would be no good. But this way does work quite well. I suppose there are other ways you could arrange the levers, but I prefer this, and it works very, very well for me. The bars are quite strong enough. I've tightened up the column shaft as tight as I can, and it's not flexed. Everything works okay. It's so easy now to get the fire bars in and out, and also that the flap under the ash pan will drop clear when I pull out the pin, enabling the ashes to be completely cleared. This is the other side of the engine, where I have the dump pin for the base of the ash pan. Now when I pull the pin out, the cover now drops clear, enabling the fire bars to be inserted with ease.